In order to build strong leaders, we have to have strong. What we did, we brought some of the strongest men to they and I'm looking at all of you. So the main thing we want to out game today, mental toughness, great work for that discipline. You're also going to learn a lot about personal branding and as you develop towards your career. So there's life after high school. Built this thing based on right now. So after high school, personal branding is going to be extremely important for you, as well as discipline and financial discipline. There's one thing that I can tell you, that if you don't have financial literacy, it won't matter how much you will be broken. So through that, we're going to introduce sections. We've got a lot of badness and practice. And we're going to start with Mr. Kevin Graves, who again, mentor of mine. So Kevin is a Spartans, UNC alumni, U.S. Air Force veteran. He's the founder of SWG Consulting that supports professional athletes, full service management, so they can get beyond the his professional athlete compliance includes family life. So some of us saw Bam and we were together and speak closer to that when they were your age. That's one of the other things that I like to talk about. Seeing other athletes go through it, some of them are perfect. So they but he is an athlete Catholic. He helped create pathways for young people. And tying up you there to show you how to build a brand and reputation that opens the doors. So without further ado, if you would mind give a round of applause for Kevin Graves. How's everybody doing this morning? On really here. How's everybody doing this morning? All right, my name is Kevin Graves. I'm a 55-year-old from Greensboro, North Carolina. I went to Riverside High School. Now that I've gotten older and I'm in my mid-50s, I think about when I was sitting in the same seat, when I was listening to people talk about branding, their future, your present, and how you equate all of that today. I'll start out by saying you're probably going to make money one day 4 different ways. The 4 ways you'll make money are called the 4 A's. Some people are born extremely good looking. Aesthetics. The way they look, they could be a model, they could be an actress, they're going to get paid from aesthetics. Some people are going to get paid from their academics. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, 2 guys at Microsoft and Facebook never graduated college, but they got paid off their intellect. Another way you can get paid is the arts. Some of you may be trombone, trumpet players, singers, actors, actresses, and you get paid from the arts. Now, what do you think the last A is? Raise your hand and tell me what the last A is. What's the last one? Athletics. Bam Adebayo got paid from athletics because he's 6'10", 270 pounds, and he has a 40-inch vertical. So a lot of kids think, I'm going to make it, I know I'm going to be a basketball player. You could be a very good college basketball player, but be a pro. You could be a very good high school player and never play in college. In basketball, the numbers are extremely saturated. I'm just talking to a basketball team right now, because I want you to have a vision of working basketball instead of just playing basketball. The numbers are saturated. In America, 586,000 kids play high school basketball, public and private. 586,000. 44,000 seniors start every year in America. 44,000 seniors trying to get 686 spots. 44,000 people playing at Riverside, playing in Jordan, playing at Hillside, trying to get 686 spots to go to Carolina, New Wake Forest Place. Think about that. But it's a lot more In sports, if you're an athletic director, if you're a player personnel director, if you're a general manager, if you're a team president, if you're a statistician for the Charlotte Hornets, there's so much more you can do in sports, and that's where training comes into play. When I was your age, I didn't have the dreadlocks, I didn't have the twists or the mohawk. I'm saying we didn't have our hair like that. We had box haircuts. I don't know if y'all know what that looks like. We would skin the sides and we would roll the top like this summer. And it would shape it up a later. But when I was in high school, I had someone tell me to cut my hair off. And I laughed at him. I was like, I'm not cutting my hair because I want to wear it like this. When I got to college, the people that were getting the internships and the co-ops were the people who looked like the president. Your job, if you never want to work in sports and branding, is to look like the people at the top. Have you ever, NBA referees, the referee in the zebra stripes that rest your games, an NBA referee starting out makes $400,000 part-time. People don't know that. A tenured NBA referee makes about $560,000 a year part-time. Now, I'll ask you this. Have you ever seen an NBA, college, or high school rep along here? You won't ever see one. Have you ever seen an NBA rep that's out of shape? You won't ever see one. You will, if you watch an NBA game, look at the referees. If they don't look a certain way physically, they will not put them on television. That's part of your brain. I don't know if you ever heard of a rapper, female rapper named Lauren Hill. She had a song called Everything is Everything. Everything you do the rest of your life will be connected to something else to advance you professionally, civically, and in your family. If you don't eat right, this is the first thing I tell people with brain. If you don't eat right, it will affect the way you function. If you eat a lot of greasy food, fried food, citric acid, drink a bunch of carbonated drinks, eat a lot of bread and meats all day, you're going to be lethargic and slow and lazy. If you eat green leafy vegetables and fruit and drink a lot of water, you're going to have a lot of energy for what happens next in your day. So think about how you eat. The second thing, I want you to think about your hygiene. A lot of kids don't pay attention to this, but as you climb up the sectors, you'll learn you don't want to be clean compared to how you feel. You want to be clean compared to how society views you. I've been to 98 countries. Every country I've been to me, is the same. The businessman in Johannesburg, South Africa, has the same shoes I have on in Greensboro. The businessman in Istanbul, Turkey, has the same shoes and dress shoes on as the man in Johannesburg. The businessman in Belgrade, Serbia, London, England, it doesn't change. The people that are professionals in soccer in England and the executives, they look and talk and sound and act the same as the executives in the NFL to USA. It does not change as many. So I want all of you to think about your cleanliness. You don't want to be in an interview and you got dirt under your fingernails and a person interviewing you was like, I'm not hiring. They're not going to tell you why they're not going to hire you. You also want to speak like you're educated. We have too many kids that I've seen all over the world, in Portland, Oregon, Los Angeles. They literally speak like they're talking on a text line. You don't want to speak to people in an interview like they're talking on a text line. You don't want to text people when you're texting someone when you get older, like you're talking to your friends. You know how you talk to your friend, you throw in a couple of emojis, you throw it, you cut the sentences off, you got run-on sentences. Don't do that to people in the business sector. That's part of your brain. And the last thing I'm going to say before I open things up for questions is when you're out here and you become an adult, because some of you may feel like you're at an adult status now because you're teenagers. I didn't really feel like I was an adult until I started making discretionary income. You know what that means? It meant after I paid my bills, I had money left over. I didn't start making discretionary income until I was 34. I was in the U.S. Air Force making money, pay bills. Make money, pay your house note. Make money, pay your house insurance. Make money, pay your car note. Make money, pay your car insurance. Make money, pay your health insurance. Make money, put gas in your car. Make money, got to go to the gym. Make home gym for membership. Make money, I got a lot of food to go to the gym so I'm fueled to work out. You're not gonna just come out of school. Social media is teaching you kids. I'm gonna come out of school and be rich when I'm 21. For some of you, that may happen, but for the majority of you, it won't. And if you don't have the patience and the diligence, it's gonna be really hard for you to keep working until you're 34, 35 before you have excess money left. The NBA and NFL guys, when you see this stuff, you see Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, you see Bam Adebayo on TV, and you think I could be like them. It's hard to be that way working a regular job. I make decent money, I can't even be like them. In 3 years, Bam Adebayo is going to make $1.1 million in a week. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander just signed a contract for $338 million for 4 years. It doesn't work. Life doesn't just work like that. You don't just become rich because you have a talent. Okay? So be patient in the way you function. Think about your brain from your cleanliness to the way you dress, your grooming standards, the way you treat other people, and hopefully everything will come together for you later on. I'm gonna open it up for questions. You can ask me anything about the NBA. I used to work with NFL clients. Anything you want that will help you propel yourself in the next one. Anybody got any questions?
We'll have to run the mic too, so just raise your hand.
No questions?
Yeah, one in the back and right.
Where?
One in the back, right vest, they can give us a mic.
Have time
At the top?
for question.
Here.
What was like page about Adam?
I couldn't.
What was it like page you about Adam?
What is it like now, managing man? Thank you.
He asked me, what's it like to manage Bam Adebayo? To manage someone like Bam is extremely busy because Bam is not an average NBA player. He's a 5-time All-Defensive Team player. He's a 3-time NBA All-Star, and he's played on 2 Olympic teams. So last summer, I had to go with Bam to Olympic prelims. Las Vegas would play Canada. We left Las Vegas, went to Abu Dhabi and Dubai. We left Abu Dhabi, Dubai, went to London. We left London, went to Lille, France. We left Lille, went to Paris, and then we came back on go well. So managing that, we were gone for 48 days out of the country. So that's part of managing someone is, are you willing to pick your phone up at 2 in the morning when a car service in LA messed up a Lincoln Town Hall or a Cadillac Escalade, and you got to wake up out of your bed? I keep my phone on 24/7. So if Bam, when I was working with Kyrie, other guys, when they call you, you have to answer. You have to be there to help them out. Number 2, Bam is one of those kids that I told him at University of Kentucky his first year. I said, Bam, don't grow your hair out. It'll help you with your endorsements. Bam, listen to me. You've never seen Bam with long hair, right? Bam has 14 major endorsements. Maker's Mark Urban, Tide Laundry Detergent, Lowe's Home Improvement Stores, JBL Headphones, Jordan Brand, DoorDash, Amaranth Bank. He gets paid because he looks a certain way. So working with that, he made like over $1 million on endorsements alone. So you have to be there to help him when he set up for commercial shoots. You have to get his mom doesn't drive. So you have to organize for his mom to be able to travel and stuff with him to away games and things of that nature. But it's a lot of work when you're managing a high level player, and it's a little bit different when you're managing a player that basically may be a role player or a bench player. Did that answer your question? Yep. Any other questions?
I got one. Quick question for you. What type of collegiate or post-hospital degree to obtain in order to put you on a path to be able to do this particular job?
He said, yeah, I'll ask for the money.
My question was, what particular degrees or post-high school certificates did you obtain to be able to matriculate in this job?
My degree, I have a bachelor's in kinesiology from University of North Greensboro. I have a master's degree in youth and community sport development from UNC Greensboro. When I first left college, I went to the U.S. Air Force and I taught physiology and pilot training. When I was a physiology instructor for pilots and aircrew. When I got out, I had a fraternity brother who was doing financial validity work for NFL guys only. And basically what that was they do their estate planning, wills and trusts. If they pass away, who gets their money, their houses, their real estate, their checking and saving money market accounts, their investment advisory accounts. So I learned the industry working with this company, and then I started my own company because I saw that they were leaving a lot of money on the table with real estate, buying cars, suits and tie packages, concierge service and transportation, private jets. My company does everything. So we do the financial validity side, and we also, if Aaron needs an alarm system for his house, if Aaron Williams needs to fly his parents overseas for the NBA European, we do everything. So I basically started out as a kinesiology major, which is studying exercise physiology, motor learning control, and all that stuff. And then I transitioned into a different career path. And that's a great question because all of you may have to pivot for you. That's why branding is important. All of you may major in something in college. 70% of all college majors and what people graduated, they don't work in that thing. I have a lot of fraternity brothers who went to school that were English majors, they ended up going to law school. I have fraternity brothers that were engineers that ended up working in hotels and lodging. I have people that studied hotels and lodging that transferred into nursing. I have a fraternity brother named Vincent Ford. He was an engineer. He stopped being an engineer, went to nurse anesthesia school at Virginia Commonwealth, and now he's a nurse anesthetist in Phoenix, Arizona. You have to learn to pivot and go where you can make money. The pandemic taught us a whole lot about life. There was a lot of people who lost their jobs and their businesses. We have a restaurant in Greensboro that was 88 years old. It had to shut down forever because of the pandemic. We were all social distancing, no one could go to restaurants, people couldn't go to certain hotels, people were not traveling, so a lot of people lost their businesses. So wherever you work in life, always have a plan B and be able to pivot into a different career path.
Thank you, Mr. Kevin Gray. Take him around the wall. Everybody. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we still stop looking for our fall.
Morning, everyone. Thank you for that introduction. It's an honor to be here, to be able to talk with you all, share some of my insight, some of my experiences along the way to the position that I have right now with the Portland Trail Blazers. Again, just brief background of myself. I'm just a kid from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Passionate about sports as a young kid. Played football, basketball, ran track in high school. Attended and graduated from North Carolina A&T State University. And from there, just kind of got into the field of strength and conditioning. And tying into kind of the topics of today that you guys are hearing about, just work ethic and being dedicated to what you do. Consistency is a big thing. That's the separating factor for a lot of people as they try to make their way from high school to college to professional sports, and even in life in general, just going, obtaining as much education as you can, whether you play sports or not. Just being disciplined and consistent in whatever it is you may do. Big things I always like to tell people is have 3 things that you are consistently doing each day that will help you lay out a form of discipline and dedication to everything that you do. Whether it's just waking up in the morning and whether you're going to read something out of a book for motivation, whether you're going to do some type of physical activity just to get your body going, whether you're just doing some type of meditation for mindfulness, just find something that you can do on a daily basis. And that's how you start your day. Because if you don't do anything else the rest of that day, you've done that and you've put yourself ahead of the game in front of a lot of people. That type of mindset has allowed me to, this is now my 11th year in the NBA. I would have never thought that I would be in the NBA this long. I would never thought I'd be working in the NBA. I've had dreams and aspirations of that, but a lot of times you scare yourself with your dreams. I heard somebody say one time that if your dreams and goals don't scare you, they're not big enough. If you don't feel like they are unachievable, then you're dreaming, you're setting goals too small and too low. So don't be afraid to set large goals for yourself. Don't be afraid to have big dreams, because even if you fall short of those big dreams, you're still light years ahead of everybody else. And you don't have to have it figured out right now. I didn't have it figured out in high school when I was sitting in the same spaces that you all are sitting in. All I thought about was sports. Go out and play sports every day. That's going to be my thing. And like the speaker said prior to me, there's a lot more people looking for sports positions and spots on teams than there are spots available. There's, I think, roughly 330 roster spots in the NBA, and there's 330 people in your high school. So just think if everybody was playing basketball and everybody wanted to get to the NBA, that's a small window to break into. But the way you can separate yourself and get a leg up is being more consistent. You don't have to be the greatest at everything. You just be consistent in what you do. There's going to be some outliers and those people who are just different. You can't do anything about that. But the rest of those along the way is, what do you do to set yourself aside and different from everyone else? And that's one of the things that I kind of prided myself on in my journey going through the NBA, is setting myself different than others, being willing to do the things other people don't want to do. It might be going to go help fold towels. It might be going to help make food trays for players post game. It might be helping out, making smoothies and shakes. But those are things that people don't want to do. Everybody wants to do the fancy things. Sometimes you got to get in there and do the gritty, grimy stuff. And then people look back and they remember, say, oh, I remember that guy. He used to come in here, make shakes, and used to come in and help in the kitchen. He used to go fold clothes and get towels. It's like, I got a position. I don't know exactly what he does, but I know he works hard. And you'll hear along the way as you get older, it's not about necessarily how much you know. It's also about how you make people feel. They'll remember what you have done around them and how you made them feel, and not necessarily what you're able to do on the court or on the field. Those things come and go. Talent and ability fades away. Who you are as a person, your character, how you work, how you approach everyday life and everyday activities and obstacles, those things are going to go with you on and on. And if you have good qualities about yourself in that nature, you can find yourself going from North Carolina to South Africa to Europe to Middle East, all over the United States, just off of your work ethic and just off of how people have seen you work. They remember the type of person you are. They remember the type of work that you've done. So just keep remembering that. Set goals, set big goals. Don't be afraid to write down goals that seem like they're impossible. Just with dedication, hard work, you can make those impossible goals your everyday reality. And just be consistent in everything you do. I mean, you're not going to have it figured out right now, but as you go on in life, as you get older, like you'll understand like consistency is it's a separating factor from a lot of people, whether it's on the court, like what do players do well, and you can rely on them to do that consistently. Those are the players that get a lot of opportunities. Those are a lot of players that get the chance to uh, have those big contracts and change their lives and their family lives. Uh, there's a flip side to that too. You see a lot of players that you played with in high school, you played with growing up, and you're like, man, that dude was great. He was an awesome player. Then they go off to college, and you're like, I wonder what happened to that person. Not consistent. They showed up on some days and brought their best effort. Other days they took a day off, they took their foot off the gas pedal, and somebody else went past them, took that spot. And then next thing you know, it's like, man, I thought that person would have made it to the league. You never see them again. So don't let that be your story. You can control that. You can control your effort. You can control your attitude. You can control your consistency. I don't want this just to be me talking to you guys the whole time. I love to hear as many questions or anything that you guys have. I got, again, 11 years in the NBA, close to 20 years in strength and conditioning, sports science, with athletes from college, high school, professional level. So I am wide open for all your questions. No question is too crazy. No question is something I probably never heard before. So feel free if it's something about how I got started, my journey through school to the NBA, things I see every day in the NBA. Feel free. I'd love to hear what you all have to ask.
Thank you. We'll open another question. Somebody's got a question. What's your favorite part about training?
I didn't hear the whole question. I'm sorry.
What's your favorite part about training NBA players?
Those guys are just my passion in general is helping people achieve their goals, and working with a lot of these NBA players. It's just seeing how skilled and athletic that they are and seeing how I'm able to provide a small piece to their puzzle of success and athleticism. These guys pick up on things so quickly. I remember my first year, first day in the weight room, Paul George walks up to me and asks me, can I help him out with the arm workout and a chest workout? I'm like, this is Paul George. He just asked me to help him out. So just working with these guys and helping them achieve their goals and seeing them excel both on and off the court.
Um, what do you see to be the difference between players who last in the NBA and those that don't?
Oh, great question. The biggest difference, again, is consistency. Um, Coaches, front office personnel, they want to be able to go down the roster or go down a scouting report or draft profile and have the number one question be, can I rely on this player to produce and give what we need from them on a daily basis? So that's the biggest thing. Can coaches rely on me? If I need you to be an offensive rebounder and a defensive rebounder, can I rely on you to getting 10 to 12 rebounds a game, as opposed to being inconsistent? As a scorer, someone like Shea Gilgeous, everybody knows SGA. You can pretty much rely on SGA giving you 25 to 30 points a night. That's consistency, but that also comes with a work ethic on a day-to-day basis. And they look at those things. They ask your coaches in college, they ask your coaches back in high school, hey, how is he in practice? Is he a consistent practice guy? Is she a consistent practice person? Do they attack each day? Do you have to worry about which person you're going to get on a game day or on a practice day? Those that are consistent last, and those that are consistent, you see play for multiple teams or on one team for an extended period of time. Biggest example of that, some of you may know this name. He's from North Carolina as well. Ish Smith. Ish Smith played on, I think, 22 out of 31 NBA teams. Not because he couldn't find anywhere to stick, but because everyone around the NBA knew that Ish is going to give us what we need on a night in and night out basis. So if Ish is available, we're going to try and make a trade for him, and we're going to sign him to a roster spot. And that just speaks to consistency. He's not taller than everybody. He's not faster than everybody, but he's consistent. You know what you're going to get from him.
Thank you, Lewis. If you wouldn't mind, let's give Lewis a round of applause, everybody. We are in-season NBA will have a very good business schedule. So thank you for taking the time to come in and speak to the children. So everyone give a round of applause for Dr. Daniel.
Morning, everybody. Morning. Thank you and today, I'm going to talk to you about mental strategies for peak performance. But before we get into that, let me ask you guys a question. Does anybody know what sports psychologist is? Anybody know what this? Someone see you shaking your head. Can you tell us about this? Yeah. So pretty much, we work with a lot of athletes. We pretty much help them get into a better mental space. We help them deal with whatever may be impacting their performance. We only get into a lot of things about mental health and how to impact performance. But that's pretty much what sports psychology does. I honestly love my job. I love waking up in the morning to work with athletes. I like to kind of brainstorm, trying to figure out what to make impact their performance. Making them strategy, their skills, or just processing whatever you get going on that helps them perform at a higher level. And honestly, I'm looking for a really job focus. Awesome. So today I'm gonna go ahead and get started first. So, some of the common things that I hear that impacts the athlete's performance is, they may have some fear or some anxiety. They may be worried about disappointing their coach. They may be worried about disappointing their parents. Even may worry that don't play well, they lose the scholarship. So it's a lot of different things that may come up. And when you're out there playing and you're thinking about those things, it'll impact your performance. You're not going to be able to play at a nice level. Now, there's a foundational approach to many of the issues, and that's the present moment focus approach. And it's pretty much what it sounds like. You pretty much have to be present moment as much as possible when you're out there performing. Now, think of this as like a portal to get into flow. Does everybody know when I say get into flow? You used to call like get into the zone. Everybody know what that is? Yeah. For those who don't know, being close to when you're out there playing and you're 100% of your word and what you're doing. So you're not thinking about the future. So you're not thinking about whether you're going to win or lose the game. You're not thinking about the Reds that ain't batting ball or the Reds, whatever they do or that's about having the ball. You're not frustrated with this. In the moment, 100% absorb what you do. And when you're playing like that, you play at a very high level. feel like you can't miss, you can't stop, you feel like you're on fire, right? The brakes get bumped. Now, what we want athletes to be able to do is recognize when they're in flow versus when they're not in flow. And we want you guys to be able to bring yourself back into flow, to have yourself thinking about whether you're making a business job or whether you guys are winning or losing the game, or whether it's just, I can't believe I just made a mistake, coach so mad at me, whatever it may be. We want you guys to recognize that, bring yourself back into the present. So today, we're going to go through you guys two skills. One for your body, and then one for your mental side. Okay, these are very helpful skills that you guys can use out there while you guys come. So the first skill is diaphragmatic breathing. This is what it looks like. Better known as belly breathing. And this is a very effective and helpful skill. You know, a lot of the professional athletes use this. Steph Curry's one of them. Everybody knows watching basketball. So Curry, he's one of those players that use belly breathing all the time. After we're done here, if you Google on your phone, or if you do right now, the Steph Curry uses belly breathing between timeouts. You said he does it every single game. He even trains during his off season, and he's been trained breathing his diaphragm. So it's a very effective skill, very helpful. And I'm just going to briefly go over this. We only got 10 minutes. So I'm just going to briefly go over this. With diaphragmatic breathing, otherwise not belly breathing, you are able to lower your heart rate, and you're also able to allow your lungs to move less better. So when you're out there playing, feeling fatigued, doing this skill is going to help you guys recover quicker. It's going to help you guys perform at a higher level. So very effective. This is completely different than your regular breathing. We're focusing on your belly button. Usually when we breathe, we breathe with our chest. So when you breathe with your stomach, you get a completely different feel. And it also helps you guys focus in the present moment, which as I mentioned, is one of you guys that can go safe. So what this is, breathing through your nose for 4 seconds, hold it for 2 seconds, and then out your mouth for 5 seconds. Now, we use these numbers so that average flow capacity of the room. Some people may have larger lungs, but we want to add an extra second. Again, exhale, but a 4 to 5, that's really hard. As long as your exhale is longer than your inhale, you're good. So you're going to break the count for 4, over to catch mark for 5. When you're doing this, you're going to break your stomach. So the practice is one hand on your chest and one hand on your stomach, and do this exercise. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to get the. I'm going to go ahead and just do one hand on my chest, one hand on my stomach. I'm going to focus on the spinal wall. I'm just going to inhale for 4, over to after 5, and use my stomach. When I'm coming in, once my stomach out of the building. So when I exhale, once my stomach is complete. So I'm just going to do this real quick, baby. So when you do this, the only thing that moves is your stomach, okay? So if everyone wants to go ahead and do this quick try, go ahead and do 2 seconds. I'll give you guys a 1 second try. Just go ahead and put one hand on your chest, one hand on your stomach, and then goes to 4, hold for 2, exhale your mouth for 5 seconds. And this is really a skill that helps you guys get in the flow and bring your attention back to the present moment. What you're doing is you're focusing on your breathing, which is happening in that moment. This also helps your body because if you're thinking about whether you're going to mess up or whether you're going to disappoint your coaches or your teammates, your body's going to be with tense. How we think about stress innovations, our body reacts to that. So if you're feeling tense out there, that's another way where you're going not to be able to perform at your highest level because you're going to react slowly. Okay? Now, the next skill is more for your mental. So self-talk. So self-talk has no big that you hear in your head. Everyone has self-talk. There's different types of self-talk. We're not going to go into them, but one of the most helpful ones is instructional self-talk. Instructional self-talk is 2-3 steps of what you need to do to perform an action. Okay? So for baseball, it'll be number 11, high on the ball. For basketball, for shooting a free throw, it could be number 11, on the foot. So the quick 2-step self-talk that you're going to tell yourself in those moments when you catch yourself thinking about the turn of the past. Okay? This is something that helps you guys when you're out there in these big moments and you want to make sure you're able to, execute those big ones for that. So, for example, in basketball, say it's 30 seconds left on the clock, the coach have played for you, and start to think, oh man, I missed this shot, you may not win this game. Immediately, want to go ahead and try to use this skill. Immediately tell yourself what you need to do to achieve execute it. You're not thinking about what you're going to make a baseline shot, but just think about what you need to make. Think about what you need to do to be more difficult. Okay, which is square up and follow through, or square up and plant your feet, whatever it may be. So it's quick 2 to 3 steps, okay? So that's another step. So the body and mind relationship is very strong. Like I mentioned, how you think about certain things, the body's going to react. And mental health, I'm going to spend 30 seconds to go to talk about mental health. Mental health is a big thing. A lot of science that we always talk about. And I just want to, I'd like to do this talk, I like to, explain how much impact it has. So mental health impact on performance. Whether, you believe it or not, it's not impacting performance. If you're not in mentally good status, it's going to impact your performance. If you're seeing going on at home or something, maybe with your boyfriend or girlfriend, something happened, you're stressed out, it's going to come out of your performance. So that's why it's very important to kind of take a step back and think about how are you doing from a mental state. Sport is mentally before it's physically. Like you have to tell yourself, I'm going to do practice. You have to tell yourself, I'm going to train hard. I'm going to give 100% effort. I'm going to trust my abilities. A lot of it is mental before it's physical. And, it's okay to not be okay. And this is the same that I love thinking about. So it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to ask for help. Even as adults, we still ask for help. And I like to talk to some listeners back that there is still out there. We are a resourceful community. There are a lot of ways to talk to you guys if you ever feel like you're struggling with anything. I know sometimes you may feel like you don't want to talk to your parents about it or you don't want to talk to your friends about it. But some things you will need some help with, and that's okay. So talk to anybody, talk to adults, you talk to guidance counselors, talk to parents, talk to coaches, faculty, whatever it may be, let them know if you're struggling with something, you need some help. I work with a company, Carolina Sheridan, see us on our website, if you guys want to learn more about us, that's a phone number, like the parents space call if you're interested. But overall, it's great talking to you guys, and I hope you guys the best and the rest of the week.
So, yeah, that's not the one question.
I think what do you think is more important, consistency or confidence?
So, yeah, the question, what's more important than confidence or confidence? And that's a really great question. If I had to choose one of both, I would probably say consistency. I think they're both equally important because you can be consistent and not confident in yourself, so you can consistently go to practice. But in the games, your confidence shakes. Your confidence is shaking. So, I'm going to say answer. I'm going to say confidence. Because you can be consistent and practice, but in games with confidence. Or you can be consistent for a few minutes out there, but your confidence, I think at the end of the day, your confidence is really going to play the biggest role. Because if you're not confident in your abilities, then your performance is going to struggle. Regardless of how consistent you are in practice or things like that, if your confidence is not where it's supposed to be, then the performance is not going to be at the level I don't get the right stuff. That's how I know. That's not radio too.
Thank you one more time, everybody, Dr. Daniel.
All right. Well, listen, I will get going. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Grand rising to you all. This 10-minute session is a very short lesson on that took a lot of athletes years to learn the hard way. We're going to talk about what to do when you get the bag. We're going to talk about smart money moves. Go get the money, cash, funds, income, pay, earnings, wages, salary, revenue, profit, the bag, bread, paper, cheese, dough, guap, band, racks, stacks, bucks, loots, chips, coins, ends, scratch, green cake, cheddar. No matter how you say it, we're going to all have to learn how to manage money. So the good news is everybody's going to get a bag, and those bags are going to vary in size depending on what you end up doing with your life. But the news that you really got to be concerned about is everybody will have to learn how to budget and manage money. I will say that again. Everybody will have to learn how to budget and manage money. Today, we're going to talk about keeping the bag and making it grow. And the bag doesn't change who you are. It will expose what you were taught. Here's a quick reality check for you, just from some professional athlete numbers. I don't know how clear this is on that end, but it says 60% of NBA players file for bankruptcy within 5 years of retirement. Major League Baseball players file for bankruptcy at a 4 times rate more often than the national average. And 78% of NFL players file for bankruptcy within 5 years of retirement. You look at the bottom of that slide, the number one reason, overspending. We don't have time to get into it all right now. We got to keep it moving. There are 3 types of bags. The flash bag, that's where you get your ice, your shoes, your cars, your clothes, your change, your trips, gifts to family and friends. Feels amazing. Money, but it leaves fast. That's money going out. No ROI. I want you to remember this term, ROI, return on investment. You go to practice. That is your investment. You expect it to show up in the games. That's your return on investment. So your flash bag is money going out. If you see that bucket in the bottom right-hand corner, that bucket starts with one leak that leads to another leak that leads to another leak. And that's why if you go back to this page, you can justify some of these stats. Some of these people probably ran into the same problems. Too much money going out. The second type of bag is your safety bag. This is when your bills are paid. You have an emergency fund and you have a financial plan. This will lead to a solid financial future. I look at this as money ready to come off the bench. This is not your starting money. This is the money ready to go to work for you when called upon. Your third type of bag is your growth bag. This is where you own businesses, you own property, you have made investments that are returning money to you. You own businesses. These are attributes or assets that work while you sleep. I will say that again. They work while you sleep. That is making it financially. When your money is working for you while you're sleeping. I'm too far. J. Cole is from my hometown, Fayetteville, North Carolina. I know nothing about his music. This is what I love about J. Cole. He prioritizes financial freedom over flexing. If you can see the article down low, it says his net worth is around $117 million. And after multiple platinum albums, he still rides a bike. So he has learned that if I want to flex long term, I need to invest on the front end. I love Jay-Z. I don't know much about his music, but I love his story. He uses hustle and his rap skills to get into the music industry. He uses charm and personality, making connections to make the right connection to be able to get into the music business, and eventually start investing and become an owner. And I love this quote by him. I'm not a businessman. I am a business man. And all of you at some point will be a business. So learn from those that you see that are doing it the right way. Gucci Mane and Migos said, get the bag and flip it. And these are 3 keys to getting that bag and flipping it. One is knowledge. You have to understand how the financial game is played. None of you would go to your games and not know what the rules were. You would look like an idiot because you don't know how the game is played. You have to understand how the game is played. Got to get the knowledge. Number two, your mindset. Your mindset is being able to see and take advantage of financial opportunities when they present themselves. And the last step is you have to have a plan. You got to map out a clear strategy and actionable steps to achieve your financial goals. 5 mistakes people make most. Number one, no plan before the money shows up. I'll share a quick story here. I had 2 brothers growing up, both very good athletes, both went to college on scholarships. I'm the youngest. I had to compete in my own backyard every day. When I was a younger guy, they would take me places I was too small to play unless they had 9 players and needed a 10th. But what I learned on the sideline was I started making notes on people's game. That guy don't like to drive left. He can't shoot the ball at all. He's going to drive it. He likes to shoot. Get in. So when I got in the game, even as a young player, I was able to outsmart people because I sat on the sideline and watched them. This is your time to learn the game from the sideline. So when the money comes, you're ready to get in the game. Second point, spending first, thinking later. Third point, lifestyle grows faster than knowledge. Happens all the time. Fourth point, trusting the wrong people. You got to have the right advice in your corner. And that sometimes that takes making a mistake or 2 at first, but you got to figure out who's in your corner. Last point, thinking I will learn later. Later is now. If you think about later, it's too late. Later is now. Money moves fast. Knowledge has to move faster. Uh-oh. Gone too far. Hold on. There you go. Reframe your money mindset. Money is like your body. If you train it, it will perform. Every elite athlete has a coach. Money is no different. Do you want your money partying or do you want your money working? And that's what you need to figure out now. When the money comes, it's too late. It is too late. You got to be thinking about these things. Think about when that money hits, how I'm going to manage it. If I ask this question right now, if I drop $10 million on everybody in the gym right now, half of you already started thinking about what you're going to buy. Your first reaction should be, how can I make this 20 million? How can I make that 20 million, 40 million? When you get to that point, you got a chance to win the game. Final word. Understand the rules of money before the money shows up. Once the bag hits, opportunity will be knocking. How will you respond? If you got questions, I know we got a brief Q&A this morning. If you got questions when you get out of the gym, you can scan this QR code, follow me on IG, RB the Money Coach. You can hit me on the DM. I will make myself available to answer any questions that you may have. I know we on the clock, so we will get right to the questions. Thank you for your time. Are there questions?
Thank you, Mr. Brady. Those who haven't seen who were government, like, as part of this one. Anybody got any questions?
What are some good ways to start off managing your money?
I did not understand that question.
What are some good ways to start off managing your money?
Good ways to start off. You know what? I tell you, if you would just look, don't worry about investing money right now. Start learning the game. So just look. You got a phone in your hand. You got the greatest resource on the planet. You can access anything on the planet, knowledge wise. So just start. If you used AI, Chat GPT, say, hey, I'm new to the game. I want to learn about managing money. Build me a layout from start to when the money comes, however you need to word it. But have AI build your plan. Get me, find me resources online that I can start learning how money works and where I can start making investments. If you want to invest in real estate, if you want to do stock market, if you want to start your own business, lay it out in Chat GPT. Let that develop a outline for you and then follow that outline and start learning the rules of the game before you get in the game? That's a very good question, though.
One more time, round of applause, Robert Ray. Thank you, Robert. We can learn also in detail there.
Hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me, guys? Okay, great. First of all, let me just say this. It's wonderful. Thank you. Riverside, have you guys, I watch you guys. You guys beat Hillside?
Yeah.
Did you guys beat what's the other school that's in Durham that's supposed to be? Do you guys play Mount Zion? Y'all don't play Mount Zion. Okay. Okay, well, I just want to know, I want to see what y'all doing down there because I want to make sure that y'all handling your business. But first of all, I want to say to y'all, thank you for having this opportunity. I know you've been sitting for a little bit, and for the thing that I want you to know that I am Gene Banks. When it came time, the one thing you got to understand about life is there's three things: love for the game and what you do, consistency, and also adversity. So as you see in the picture behind me, these are the trophies I won when I was at Duke University. Now, me coming to Duke University was not a fluke. I knew nothing about the South. Okay, I'm from West Philadelphia. I grew up 2 blocks away from Will Smith, Boys to Men, and all these guys. Philadelphia basketball was the mecca. I knew nothing about the South. Okay, so I wasn't trying to come down here, but it was when it comes to talking about it takes a village. My English teacher at Westfield High School told me, he said to me, and this is what you guys at this age now, you're trying to make decisions. I was the #1 high school basketball player in America. In America. I was coming out with Albert King and Magic Johnson. I was the very first McDonald's All-American. I won the very first McDonald's MVP. So, that being said, when I'm talking to you as high school students, I had a great career in high school. We lost maybe 2 games in 3 years. We were city champions, and then we became the national champion of America. Then I was voted the National Player of the Year. So now I got to decide what school I'm going to. Talking to you, because you all athletes, and you're all going to have an opportunity to maybe go to a school, to pick a school, okay? So now, what are you looking for out of this school? This is a different era now. And this era says you see a lot of TV, you see the bling, you see everything. My thing was I wanted to go to a program that would have a situation that I can make it better. Before I got to Duke University was in last place for 6 years in a row. They stunk, okay? They stunk, okay? So I'm just saying that because now I got a decision, what you're going to have mentors, like at your school, your counselors, your coaches,
your teachers. I had a teacher that said, I want you to go to visit Duke University, not because of the basketball, but because it's a beautiful institution. It's a lovely, wonderful institution. He was all about academia. I said, okay, get him off my back. I came down to visit, come down to the South, and I said, okay, this is a nice school, very beautiful, but they suck. I'm not going there. But then again, he said to me, my mother said to me, you may go to some place and change everything. And this is what I want to say to all of you all. You're going to make moves in your life from this day forward to go and do some things that are going to be so advantageous to a group, program, and give your family's name what you want it to be. Like LeBron James, like Michael Jordan, like all these guys. So what do you have to do? You have to have a love for the game. You have to be consistent, and you're going to go through adversity. So I come to Duke. All right, I'm coming to Duke. I'm supposed to be the savior. Do you know I dreamt about going to Duke? I dreamt. I laid down, had to make a decision, and try to figure out where I'm going to go to college. And I dreamt about going to Duke and making things happen, going to the championship. And do you know what? I can elaborate more, but I'm not going to. Everything I dreamt the night before I made my decision, I decided to go to Duke. I come to Duke, and what happened? We went straight to the championship. So do not take away the fact that dreams do not come true. When you believe in something, you believe in yourself, as well as if you believe in the spiritual. You believe in God, you believe in your family, you believe in community. Three things: God, your community, and yourself. You believe in those things, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Do you know how good it is you have to be? One of my biggest concepts were I would never, ever, ever let nobody outwork me. That was it. I wasn't Michael Jordan. I wasn't LeBron James. And for you ladies, I wasn't Dawn Staley. But what I did was put myself in a situation to say that I'm not going to let anyone outwork me. And that was the biggest key. I go to Duke. We go to the NCAA championship. We lose by 4 points. The next year, we're number one in the country. The year after that, we're number one in the country. So dreams do come. But the thing is, it takes a lot of work. And I want to say this to Brother Graves, who spoke to you guys earlier. He talked about the box cut. I want to crack on about the box cut. I didn't wear a box cut. And you guys aren't wearing box cuts. Am I right? I don't see anybody in that audience that's got a box cut in their head. But anyway, moving right along, Brother Thompson, I like his words when he talked about concepts of consistency. Guys and ladies, you have to be consistent with what you're doing. Be on time. Listen, don't buck authority. These are things that you're going to have to put yourself in to be able to go to the next level. There are doors you have to open to go through. And you have to make sure that each door you have to present yourself well, speak well, act well, be respectful. You have to respect authority because you're not going to get to the next level. So if you don't do that, that's a big key. Dr. Malinthel, you got to understand, guys, basketball opens up doors in more ways than you would ever know. Basketball, you put your effort in, you go through the training, you go through all the concepts every day. What you're doing now, you got practice, you got your games, you win, you lose some, but you learn from them. The manager for my basketball team from Duke, Danny Green, used that, got him a scholarship. He's gone on to the NBA. He's now vice president of the NBA. He was a manager. So it opens doors in many ways that you don't even understand and realize. And Dr. Daniel, I hope I say your name right, Molenthal, he's got a psychology degree. He's got a PhD degree. So it's a great thing to be able to have basketball opens up so many doors in ways that you don't even know. When I came out of Duke, my last game, I broke my wrist. my last game. I was supposed to be the 4th pick in the NBA draft. Listen to this. I'm believing I'm going to be the 4th pick. I broke my wrist against a team called North Carolina A&T, which is a school, HBCU school that played us in the NIT. Now, I broke my wrist. I'm dropping to 28. This is called adversity. And you're all going to go through it. Because some of you all are not going to be able to, you're going to think you're going to get a scholarship here. You think you're going to get that. You got to make adjustments. So now I got to make an adjustment. But if you stay true to the game, love for the game, consistent to the game, what's going to happen is something is going to happen for you to make you have to go through another door. But you cannot allow yourself to be able to sit back, wallow in it, be upset, cry, figure that, oh, nobody did me right. No. Do you guys know Kobe Bryant? You guys know Kobe Bryant, right? Kobe Bryant, they called him the Mamba. His biggest thing was he worked constantly. My greatest gift that I ever had was being able to play with 2 of the greatest basketball players in the face of the earth. George the Iceman Gervin, who led the NBA in scoring like 4 or 5 out of years, and then I got traded to Chicago, and I played with Michael Jordan. Isn't that unbelievable to have that experience? To be able to play with the GOAT. I call him the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Many of you all may say it's LeBron, okay? Now you got other players that came out, as you saw last year, Cooper Flagg. You know, there's some great players out there. But the concept of it is that to ever have basketball in sports opens up doors for you that you have no idea where you're going to go through. And the adversity is going to be in ways where you're going to have some trials and tribulations. I've had many. I've had some great times. I've had some rough times. I lost a wife. I lost a son in death. So I had to continue on doing what I had to do. What's going to do, whatever your roots is, from what you're gathering from school right now, from your coaches, your teachers, from the people around you, your mother and dad. Some of you may just have one parent. Okay, what? So what? Move on. Be strong. Love that parent that you have stronger than anything else. So give them all you got. The greatest thing you can do is continue on with building your legacy for her, him, or them. It's a parent, and it's important. If you don't do anything for somebody, don't do stuff just for yourself. Do for others. And that was a part of my game that was important. Now, Coach K has a philosophy, and if you guys, it's called the Fisk. And this is something you guys need to take with you, all you players, male and female. And that is, you have to have, it's called communication. You have to have collective responsibility, pride, care, and trust. Do you guys have that in your team? Do you take collective responsibility for your wins and losses? Do you trust your other teammate? Do you have pride in what you do? Do you communicate to your players on the field or the court? Do you communicate with your teachers? Do you communicate with your coaches? These are major keys, but you also got to have care for the game and for yourself and for others. Those are major keys. Growing up in West Philadelphia was really interesting time for me because I had a lot of support, and you got to have support. When you least have it, and you think you don't have it, you got to have support, and be proud. Be proud of yourself. If you work hard, it doesn't work. Guys, get back out there and put double time in the work. You have practice. You know the thing. When you at practice, and you feel that you think you just got a little bit in, put some extra time in. What makes Michael Jordan's greatest gift that I felt more than anything else was this. And that was when he got on the practice floor, he worked extremely hard. Y'all hear me, Riverside? Y'all hear me? That's what I want to know. I want to make sure that you know that it's going to take hard work. I mean, you're going to hear us talking. Everybody has something to tell you and explain to you about life. And nobody's in your shoes. Nobody's in your shoes.